also LDCRAB.
You stupid ass machine.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the introductory episode of Paul's Old Crap. My name is Paul, and this is all of my old crap. I'm not going to go into too much detail on these systems to start off with. I'll just basically go over what's in my collection and if I can recall how I got them in the first place. Most of my collection is based on the Apple Macintosh computers. Those were a favorite of mine from the 90s, so I do have a number of those. And I do have a couple other types of systems, including some Silicon Graphics workstations, a single Sun workstation, and an older Apple II computer as well. So right now in my collection I do have two SGI Indie workstations, as well as a Sun Netra X1 rack mount server. The two Indies are what's left from a auction that I purchased in 2006 off eBay. It was a collection of 4 of the Indies. These two are the units I have left. Both of them work, and I'll be doing a video on one of these units coming up soon. Just waiting on parts to arrive for the restoration. The Sun server was sitting on a to-be recycled pile at work, so I decided to pick that up and play around with it. Nothing really too special about it. It's not meant for workstation or desktop type use, as it does not have a onboard video port, but I will be toying around with getting Solaris on there, and we'll see where that goes. So now taking a look at some of these older Macintosh computers, I do have a Macintosh LC. I don't actually remember how I got that, but I suspect I've probably had it for more than 10 years, so it's been sitting around, not doing too much. The LC475, I believe I purchased that from a used computer store where I live years ago. Would have been more than 10 years. Haven't done much with it either. The Macintosh 2 SI, that was the first computer I ever owned. It was purchased in Vancouver from a consignment store called PC Galore. I believe that would have been around 1995 or 1996. And anyone who's familiar with this unit will see that there is a CD-ROM drive where there's not supposed to be a CD-ROM drive. That is correct. It did not come from the factory like that. That is something I did out of boredom. So, yeah. Below that, I have a Performa 6320 CD. That was a gift from my grandfather. I guess it was a Christmas or a birthday. Some time ago, it was an upgrade for my 2SI, which I was using as my primary computer at the time. And at the bottom there is a PowerMac 6100, and it also does have the internal 486 PC card for DOS compatibility. That machine I believe I received in a trade from a friend of mine. Next up, we have the Quadra 840 AV. This is a system that I don't remember if I purchased it somewhere or if it was a donation to me at some point, but I have had this system for a number of years as well. So at the back here I've got some of my compact Macs. If we look at the top row there, at the far side I've got a Macintosh SE. That also includes an internal 20 megabyte hard drive. That system still works. I don't recall where I got that one from. I have owned that one, though, probably 10 to 15 years. I've got one Color Classic here, and a second one that I actually purchased recently. The first Color Classic, I've owned that in my collection probably around 10 years. The second Color Classic was part of a lot that I purchased locally from a guy, I guess, kind of like me, but looking to get rid of his collection. I paid $100 for I paid $100 for 2 Color Classics, a stack of PowerBooks, Mac Classic, and an SE30. So, really good deal on that. there's a bunch of crap in the way, but at the very back on the bottom here, I do have my Mac Classic right in the corner there. Nothing special about it. It was part of a lot that I purchased recently, so I don't have any plans for it. And at the bottom here is the SE30. I do have some plans for that one. I've taken the board out to be recapped at the moment, so that'll be back up and running probably in a couple months or so. At the bottom here I've got a Macintosh CD32. This I got in a trade from a local friend. I forget what the trade was about. It might have been a G3 tower that I didn't need anymore or something like that. So if we take a look at some of the Macintosh laptops I've got, starting over here, I've got a PowerBook 190 at the bottom and a 5300 on the top. The 5300 actually has the display from a 190, so it's a bit of a Frankenstein computer. Those I'm not entirely sure where I got them or how long I've had them, but probably more than 10 years. Here I've got a PowerBook 1400, and below that I've got a G3, I think it's a Pismo laptop. Those I'm fairly certain I received the 1400 in some sort of trade, and the G3 laptop I may have actually purchased on eBay, but I don't recall. Lastly, we've got two PowerBook 180s and a PowerBook 3400. These three were part of a lot that I purchased recently that included two color classics, a regular classic, and the SE30. So that was $100 for the three laptops as well as the four compact systems. So that was a really good deal that I'm very happy with, and I've got to play around with them. All of these three laptops here work great, so pretty happy about that. So for my handheld portable units, I do have an Apple MessagePad 2000, one of the Apple Newtons. That was part of an eBay auction from probably between 10 and 15 years ago. There were 4 of the Newtons in an auction. There was 2 of the MessagePad 2000s, one of the original MessagePads, and another unit, I believe it was a Model 110 or something like that. I did sell 2 of the Newtons, so I'm left with the 2000 and I believe the original, which I have somewhere in storage. This unit does have a neat little carrying case, and it does also include a keyboard, and I've also got some PC cards such as a modem and Ethernet for it. The other unit I've got here is the Pocket PC. This is a small portable computer that actually runs MS-DOS 3.3. I don't really know a whole lot about it other than what's on the Wikipedia page. Haven't played with it too much, but it takes AA batteries and fire it up and it'll run off of PC card storage that's underneath the unit. One of the systems I have full in box is the Commodore 64C. I'm not entirely sure where I got this unit from, but I have had this for quite some time. Unfortunately, it has received a bit of damage on the box here. It was stored in a storage unit, which actually had been flooded multiple times. I haven't tested this in some time. I'm not too sure if it will still work, but it will be the focus of one of my videos if that is the case. Another system that I've got with the box, but unfortunately without any proper packing material, it's just sitting in here. It is the Amiga CD32. Now, what's interesting about this particular system is it was actually used by a bank to do like banking over the internet from people's homes using a modem. You can see it's got this little TV remote / modem unit on the side, and this is what it used to actually dial into the bank. And there's actually a sticker right there, it says Van City Savings. That is the name of a bank down in Vancouver. And they even had their little own remote there. It says Van City at the bottom. And I do actually have the original software CD, Van City Direct TV. Something about allows you to pay bills, do various things. I don't know. I booted into this once, just for fun. There was obviously no point to trying to dial into the bank. I do have some software that I've acquired for this system, but I haven't done much with this in the past 10 years or so. This unit, I believe, was given to me as a gift from my grandfather, who lived in the Vancouver area, so he probably picked it up cheap or free from somewhere when they were unloading all of these. And for my Apple II collection, I do have what appears to be a clone of an Apple IIe model, I believe. There's no identifying marks anywhere on this unit as to who actually manufactured it, but it is not an actual Apple product. I'm not entirely sure where I got this from. I suspect this was probably part of a recycling run to one of the local recycling shops in the early 2000s. People would just kind of leave old computers and whatnot behind the shop, and I had permission to take any of the old systems that I wanted to save, and I believe this was probably one of them, and I think I've had it sitting in my possession for at least 15 years now. And in case you're wondering what other types of old crap I have, I do have a small collection of old networking equipment. Starting at the bottom here, we have the Cisco 7204 VXR router. This is something I bought, I would think around 4 or 5 years ago off eBay. Just bought it to do different Cisco labs for fun as part of a home lab. I do have a number of modules for it, including a DS3 and a T1 module, just for playing around, connecting to other types of routers and learning about routing and switching. Up from that, we have the Cisco Catalyst 3550. That's another piece that I bought on eBay, just to do additional learning with. This mystery unit I've got here, it's a 3COM remote access server. This is something I bought on eBay probably around 10 to 12 years ago, and I don't think I've actually done anything useful with it. Going up from there, I've got a pair of Cisco 2600 routers. I use these for toying around with Cisco labs, connecting with the T1 and the DS3 stuff. Next up from there, Cisco 1760 series router. This is another unit that I bought on eBay just for fun. I do have a project I will be using this router for, kind of like a simulate your own dial-up ISP project. I'll have a video of that when I get that complete. Don't know when exactly, but keep an eye out for it. Moving up from there, I've got a pair of Cisco 2960 series switches. These are fairly cheap to buy on eBay, and they can run more modern iOS software, so they're still handy for lab purposes. The very top there, this is probably the first Cisco router I ever purchased. It's a Cisco 2524. It really has nothing at all useful about it. It's so old, it runs a very old version of the Cisco software. I think I probably bought that on eBay around 12 years ago, or maybe even longer than that. Basically just bought it for fun and to toy around with the Cisco stuff, but never did anything with it. Still have it because it's old, so I'll probably just hang on to it for a while.